Oh boy. Hello everybody. Lord Fishy back, and been avoiding this part, to be honest with you. This is where things really start to get complicated. But I'm going to do it anyways. I would like to be using this car for a future project, so I need to get it finished, but we were just at a crucially hard spot in the build, and I'm a little nervous, to be honest. So I guess we'll just start off by giving her a try. And I would like to work in the middle, but we have a lot of stuff here, so maybe I'll move it all out of the way. I think that's everything. So I'm just going to move it up. And just where we can move it straight back down when we're ready. No big deal. Okay. Alright, so I guess we're going to try to make our engine. And I haven't really thought that out too much, but let's just kind of go with it like we always do. And we may have to change things along the way, but that's part of this freestyle stuff that we do. We always figure it out along the way. All right. Sort this out. So we're just basically making the main part of the engine and then probably an oil pan for the bottom part. This time I'm probably not going to do all working parts inside. Last time I spent like, I don't know, days on that. It didn't seem like many people actually enjoyed or made their game with all working parts. So we're just going to make an image for the outside and not make it all working parts on the inside. Save ourselves a bit of a headache. If you'd like to see an all working part engine, then there's another video you can find on my playlist where I build it from scratch. So it's there if you need it. So probably going to do something like this. It's where our engine's probably going to sit maybe a bit back like this. It's going to sit over that axle. So we may want to give it a little bit of a gap to make sure we're good and over. Okay, and then we're going to shift A. We're going to start cutting our engine up into the pieces we want it to be in. So I'm just going to do that, make it wider in all ways, and then thin it out. Thin it out. Okay, and then I'm going to use this to cut our oil pan off, like so. So that's going to be our oil pan on the bottom. If you want to have it a separating part that you attach, this is how I would do it. I would bool one from the other. Bool, difference. And then I go into the model itself, and then I hit L over the bottom half, and then P, selection. Okay, and now we have one oil pan. If you want to make it for there's screws in there, we just need to bool some holes into it for screws. It's completely up to you though. I'm going to right click on it, set origin to geometry, and that way it moves where I can see it. And I'm on a weird shader because we were doing painted stuff, but maybe just to make this whole thing easier, we'll give this thing a color. And then we don't have to switch out over there. I'll do that. It's good for now. I'll assign it. And we'll get out of there. I'll push L. I'm sorry, I'll click the other one, go into edit. And we'll change this one's color to black, just for now to show their different parts. Okay. All right. And again, you can put some holes in there if you want to actually screw it together. Maybe we'll get to that after. Maybe I won't cover it. I'll see what happens. I don't know exactly what you guys need either, so. Okay, now there's a few ways we could do this top half. We could do it in a single engine. We can do like a straight 6. We could do a V4, or sorry, a 4-cylinder. I don't think we can. Yeah, I don't think I can do it the opposite way. I was going to make a V engine this time, but I think I messed up already. Okay, so let's get rid of these two, actually. Let's try to make a V engine this time. Just to be a little different than normal. We pretty much always do the same thing, so I'm just going to try and change it up a bit this time. Try to make a V engine. I don't know exactly how we'll get there, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, normally I would want those bevels, but this time I wanted a straight edge there, like that. Okay. Hopefully that's gonna fit. Yeah, maybe we'll redo that, actually. And just go a little farther with it, like that. I should draw the corners evenly. We can give this a color again, just to make it easier on the eyes and less sharp, abrasive. Oh, and before you ask, I don't know if I'm going to use this in Fishton. I just don't know yet. I don't want to get your guys' hopes up. We have added so much to that game, and everybody just says, add more, add more. It's not always that easy, guys. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble clicking on that. Oh, probably that. Yep. So what I'm going to do, switch to edges. We're going to drop these edges here. On the top, and we're just going to curl the bottom like so. Okay. Control B. We're probably going to add some more bevels to that again now that we've done the top. Something like that. Ooh, I kind of want to wait to do this, actually. Let's just wait to do that part because I think we might have to do the top cylinders with it. So let's just see what we got to do here. So I'm going to shrink that a little bit, like so, a little bit more actually, like that. It's about the actual size of the engine's going to be, I guess, now. So we're going to try to make some top pieces. Okay, let's shrink this down for it's a little easier to work with. And then we'll shift D it, because we're going to need two probably. Move one over to one side, and we'll go into edit mode, and we'll grab just that edge. Control B. Change the bevels. This may not work, we're going to have to see. Just thinking. Processing. Yeah, it's not going to work this way, guys, sorry. So let's undo that. Let's try doing it a different way. Go to faces and highlight everything, and then we'll unhighlight this bottom ones. And let's see what we get when we curl that. Add a few bevels, I guess. Go 6. Something like that. Okay, I think this is going to work. Hopefully. Looks like we didn't have to curl the bottom piece down there yet, but we're going to still have to see a little bit. Figure out the right angle, which would be in here, 45 maybe. That's wrong. That's more right. Something like this anyways. Might have to move it a little bit. May just copy it and flip it on the other side. It might be an easier way to go. instead of trying to mimic that shape twice. So let's go that way. Let's Shift D it. And then we will figure out what our side axis is by going 0, moving this way, and then we can go like that, and like that. And we are exactly in place on their side. We have 2 heads, cylinder heads. So our next step would be, get rid of this guy. For now, oh, actually, we could probably use that. Let's undo that. We could probably use it for other shapes, for other parts and stuff like that. Let's just keep that around for now. We could probably curve this part now, so let's grab that. And we can start highlighting all the faces we want. This one, this one, this one, this one. Control B, something like that. And it actually looks like it met up pretty well. So we'll just go like that. I think we're pretty good. I imagine you guys probably agree. The one thing I might do is, this is the original thing. So I color this guy, then it should be, sorry about that, guys. If I color this guy, it should color both of them because it's the original. I'll just make it like blackish. I guess it didn't. Poopy. But what I could do, delete that one, Shift D this one, get rid of the minus. Oops, that's the wrong one. Add back the minus. Get rid of this minus. And then we'll just change to 45. And we're exactly in place over there and it's colored. All right. So those are going to be our cylinder heads. So I guess our next step would be some sort of carburetor in the middle. Something like that. How exactly do we want to go about that? So it'd probably be some kind of connection plate that you could put on and screw down type thing. So let's shrink this down, shrink down. I guess I had a block there, I forgot about it. Make sure it's in the middle-ish. It's gonna be hard because you're gonna have to guess it, but it doesn't have to be exact either. It just has to kind of look good. So something like this. Stretch it out more this way. Shrink it down this way and this way. Okay, and then we'll go into edit mode. Grab that one, this one, this one, this one, Control B. And we're just gonna give it a little bit of a taper just so it looks a little more machined and prepared instead of just thrown on like a square. And it's just a plate for holding it on, so we're gonna make it a lot thinner. Okay. Something like that. And then we're gonna need some holes in it to run our carburetor through and attach it. So we will make a cylinder. And if you're following this series and you really want to make your car look really, really, really good, take more time if you like to add more bevels, things like that to your design. But I think this is a pretty good overall to follow along with to get the pieces and the design that you're going to need. But I'm not giving you an exact follow these instructions. I'm giving you a lesson on how to do these things on your own, basically. And some ideas of how to make these parts that you're going to want to use. Hopefully that's cool with you and you understand that. And there's no issues with that. So I'm just going to drag that one up. So this is going to be our carburetor hole. So oh, I got the wrong ones highlighted. There we go. We're just going to bool difference. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take this one and Shift D it. And then we're going to hit S, and we're going to shrink it down. And then we're going to stretch it out. So, and then we're going to copy it and move it out of the way. Like so. Something like that. Okay. So we're going to do... does this need a second plate to mount to? Oh, let's hang on a second. Let's see what we can do with this piece, if we can make some kind of flange to screw it in. So first off, we need to make it thinner, and then we need to make it thicker for it goes over the hole and doesn't fit in the hole. Then okay. What I would do now is oh, we got a shape over here. I guess we're gonna need another shape, guys, unfortunately. I'm gonna Shift D this one. And Shift D just copies things in case you're wondering why we're always doing that. Imagine you figured it out by now though, but just in case you're wondering. Something like this. It's gotta be smaller than the other plate because that's the plate we're gonna mount to. Something like this. Alright. And if you want to taper the edges like we did on the other piece to just kind of give it a better machine kind of look on the edges. Because not a lot of things are on a car or dead square like that. It just kind of looks bad. So I just taper the edges like that. Get out of edit mode. Take our shape, Shift D it, bring it down, pop it through that hole. Like that. Object, bool, and difference. Okay. Now we have a nice little plate to mount that to that. If you want to put a hole into your engine, again, just let's Shift D it in case we need it more. Like so. You can make it longer, deeper, whatever you need to do, but if you're just trying to get the look of having a hole there, since we haven't attached anything to this, it shouldn't be a big deal to add a hole. Okay. So maybe we want this to be a solid piece that's attached. So make sure that it's actually physically touching. Otherwise, when you attach it, you're going to just have a bunch of issues. Something like that. And then I'll just join it. Control J. Okay. We can still color it a different piece or color if we want. But we don't have to either. Shift D. We're going to copy this one. And we're going to finish on just this mount because it's going to be a lot of work. So if you came in here expecting to be done in an hour or two, you got some surprises coming. Making cars can be very complicated, and the more details you want to add to a car build, the harder it's going to be to build that car, obviously. So, okay, I'm just trying to kind of drag it into the area I'm going to want it to be. What I'm going to try to do is make a bolt before we can make these actually bolt down. So what I want to do is something like this. And then Shift D. And we'll add a minus here. And then we can't use the other way, so Shift D. Gonna have to just kind of eyeball it, trying to get them in the right place. Shift D both of those. Shift D both of these. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then grab this. Object, bool, difference. Okay. So now there's 4 holes in this piece that you can screw into, basically. All right. So this is going to be how your piece mounts onto it. This is going to be the start of our piece. So, all right. I guess we start off by copying all these. Okay. We take one of them and we go S. We're going to have to do this on each one separately. We should have just made a standard bolt and been using that the whole time, but I didn't think of it. That's my mistake, and I apologize. So I'm just going to go S and make it a bit bigger. Like that. Okay. And I'm going to Shift D it. And we should be able to put one over here. Okay, so we know those two are exactly in place. Let's Shift D those two. Sorry, I couldn't see really. And then we just got to make sure they're in the right place over here. All right. I think we're all good. Looks like they're ready to be attached and they look good. We can use them for other things, but just one at a time. You want to Control J, grab the top, grab the bottom, Control J, top, bottom, Control J, top, bottom, Control J. Probably put some more details onto these screws if you want, but I really don't think it's going to make a difference, to be honest. Something like that. And grab our bolt. Oh, that's weird. Weird. Okay, we had a couple extras there. Sorry about that, guys. If you had a couple extras, just erase the extras. No big deal. All right, so there we go. We got our bolts. We got our way to mount our carburetor. We're just going to have to actually build like a breather, a carburetor, and then a breather on top of it, things like that. But again, we have a mount into this piece, and then below it, which I should do something here. Let's go LP selection. And we'll take those 4 bolts. Shift D. Difference. Put those 4 holes there. And if you want them into the engine farther, since we separated that top piece, we shouldn't have any issues doing this. Shift D. And then just bring them down and to about there. Grab on the side there. Okay. And we should have holes that go straight into the engine now. And that way your bolt holes make more sense and it probably looks a little bit better. We're going to attach that piece. We can leave it disattached. Probably take these bolts for over here, but let's just copy one. Shift D. And we'll come back next time and we'll get a little farther into the engine and keep going. If you need any details, if you need like cylinder heads that you can actually see and things like that, leave me a comment and I will try to add it in the next video. If we haven't gone too far by then, by the time you mention it. I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and make sure you give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't and you've enjoyed this. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.